Hey, welcome back to Poke Suit Channel. Hey, I'm doing some videos about right hand technique and developing technique. I'm going to call this one "Waking Up the Monster," and I'm saying monster in a good sense, in a positive sense, not like a negative monster, evil monster. I'm talking a musical monster, somebody who has a lot of technique, a lot of musical consciousness, can write some beautiful music, can write some powerful music, can write music in a variety of styles. If you want to hear me shred some leads, you can go to SoundCloud, listen to Journey in Time. I did that track with Darren Vegas. He used to be the top producer at Death Row Records, but the guy does all kinds of music. He's really a cool guy. He's a great musician himself. One of the reasons I did a few tracks with him because I wanted him to play keys on one of my songs, which he did, and we did kind of a funk thing called Zook Funk. I played bass on both tunes, but yeah, you can go ahead and check out Journey in Time on SoundCloud. I think I also have it here on my Poke Suit channel. But anyway, I'm going to call this. I'm trying to make it a little shorter video. I'm going to call this "Waking Up the Monster." Now, I just did a video about an exercise like this. I know I may not be at concert pitch, but there's my A. And the main point I'm trying to make here is that if you practice cleanly and work on your right hand development and your left hand development, you can set the table, you can set the foundation for huge quantum leap growth. It's not bullshit. And that's exactly, now I'm trying not to talk over and over about my guitar letter system, but it's kind of hard not to, because I'm talking about wake up the monster. I'm talking about waking up your musical mind, wake up the musical monster, wake up that part of yourself that can write music and compose in a variety of styles. Wake up that part of your musical consciousness, that part of your subconscious mind. Folks, the subconscious mind is so powerful. Do you know what it takes to run your body? Somebody once said you eat a banana, your subconscious mind has to release something like 763 enzymes. I mean, if you think about the structure of your human body and all the things, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about this, all the things that your subconscious mind has to do to run the physiology of your body, it's a freaking miracle. It really is. So, if your subconscious mind can keep your body functioning, don't you think it can help you become a better musician? Hell yes. Do you need the right material? Yes, it's very important. That's why, if you want to become a musical monster, all the cycles in my guitar ladder system are so powerful because they teach your subconscious mind. They wake up your musical ear. I cut through all the bullshit and get right to the meat and potatoes, which is having you experience the 10 systems of improvisation. And one cycle might teach you, and they're all combined, by the way. So it's like, you have smooth voice leading, intervallic improvisation, symmetry, secondary dominant. Don't let these things scare you because they're all integrated into the 200 studies. And right now I'm offering a 10-year membership for $199. Folks, this is like, it really is like getting thousands of dollars of high quality guitar instruction for $199. It's ridiculously great price. I have it priced there, so I'll sell it. And right now you get the Horace Hatchett files for $149. I'm throwing those in for free, $140. The value of those is probably more like $300-400. He taught Howard Roberts how to play. Howard Roberts started GIT, which is now the Musicians Institute in Hollywood, one of the most successful music schools in the world. Well, Horace Hatchett taught Howard Roberts when he was a young man in Arizona. So he's one of the most brilliant guitar minds on the planet. I was lucky to study with him several times as a young man. I'm 62 now, but I studied with Horace several times. I think when I was 17, again when I was about 20, and again at about 22, 23. It was great. My wife studied with him too. I studied with Joe Pass when I was younger. Anyway, so my point just being, to wake up the monster, you have to develop your technique, and you have to develop and you have to wake up your musical ear, and that's what the guitar ladder system is about. The guitar ladder system is not about any one style. It will wake up your ear no matter what you're doing, okay? So it's very powerful. But anyway, getting back to waking up the single note monster, even the most important thing is that you practice clean and you practice so redundantly that you drive yourself nuts. Now, I don't mean that literally, right? But seriously, this kind of practice is not always the most fun. But to me, it is fun because every time I play something clean, I just guaranteed myself to get better at that lick when I need to use it. And what's so fun about practicing correctly is when you go to use a lick that you've been practicing for a while, it just peels off the fretboard and just flows out of your fingers like, like lobster dipped in butter. It's exciting. So it's attitude, right? It's like John McLaughlin said, the guitar never really was the point, and what you have to control is yourself. Now, what I mean by that is, the guitar is a tool that we use to express and whatnot, but you have to be able to know how to use your tools. So every time you practice, this is a little diminished riff, by the way, and I use it like this. I kind of chromatize it. And then a little augmented splash there, see that? So my point is being, you could do double triplets. Notice the accent, bam, bam, bam. Folks, this is exciting. This is exciting. I mean, if I have students who've absolutely turned into monster players and monster composers, way beyond anything they ever thought possible. And these were not people that had a ton of natural musical talent. Their parents were involved in business or real estate or whatever, and it wasn't really even in their family. When you practice the right stuff, musical miracles can happen. It's not bullshit. So that's why it's so important, technically speaking, in terms of developing technique, super clean. So here I'm doing double triplets. I'm accenting the first note of the triplet. See that? Boom, boom, boom. Every time I go... Every time I do that, I'm building a little bit of technique. The problem is people get impatient, okay? If you want to take some huge quantum leaps on your guitar playing, you need to forget about that you want to take some huge quantum leaps on your guitar playing and just practice your ass off for a year. Even if you don't have a ton of time, just do the right stuff. And if there was a better system I could recommend, I would recommend it. I've looked at everything out there. There's nothing even close to the Guitar Ladder program because it wakes up your musical ear. I've sold over 1,000 of them now. And people email me all the time saying, man, Steve, one guy was a doctor back east. He said, I've learned more in 5 or 6 months than I did the last 5-6 years. And these emails come into me every day. So the most important thing is that, you need to decide how important is your guitar playing to you? How important is music to you? It's not about getting famous. It's not about touring with the Rolling Stones. Nothing wrong with the Rolling Stones. It's about, it's really about more about self-realization, musical growth, developing your consciousness, unfolding. It's a self-realization, and it really feels good. And it's really great for left-right brain synchronization. It makes you smarter. It makes you happy. It's good for the soul, okay? So my point I know I'm making a lot of kind of heavy points here, but I'm just speaking from the heart, man, because that's who I am and how I do everything. To me, it's not just about making a YouTube video. It's not just about selling a Guitar Ladder course. It's not just about showing you a lick. It's about one person, what happens to be me right now, hoping I can reach other people and relate to people and maybe help bring, a little more joy into your life, a little more fulfillment, help you, reach some goals, musically speaking, that you never would have reached without the Guitar Ladder system. And that really makes me feel good because I feel like, that's part of my purpose as a soul, is to inspire and help people create and help people grow. And other people help me grow. Other people, whether I read a book or I get inspired by watching another great player, they help me grow and evolve. So we're all one. It's all one big circle. We all help each other, and the journey is the goal. So there's my metaphysics for the day, right? So on the last video, I was doing this. I more just wanted to make a few points that, wake up the monster is what I'm going to call this. So to wake up the monster, you need to have chordal work. You need to have chordal stuff that you're doing. That's probably too loud. It's probably disturbing. Anyway. You need to have chordal work that you're doing, as well as single note work, okay? And if you want to send me an email to Steve Zook, the number 7, not 7 spelled out, Steve Zook, the number 7 at yahoo.com. I'll send you cycle 1, which is a great one. And I'll also send you a video from Hightail so you can see how easy it is to download the videos right to your desktop for the Guitar Ladder system. You're going to get a 10-year membership, over 200 lessons. Everything I think of in the next 10 years, which is I do this every day, you're going to get tons more material. the free Horace Hatchet files worth 149. I should be saying they're worth, you know, 349 because they really are. But I'm just, you know, I'm just trying to make this, you know, realistic. This is a really great situation for 199. But anyway, just remember when you practice, if you want to wake up the monster, practice slow and clean and start placing accents. Hear those accents no matter what I'm doing. Now I'm actually muting because but the accent, bam, bam. Kind of overdo the accent in the beginning, and then as you keep practicing, you do the accent a little bit less, and then what happens is the accent becomes a reference point for your right hand. Your technique, kind of technically speaking, is a reference point, and it helps your subconscious mind and your conscious mind to get a feel for your technique and how to use it naturally and have it flow out without thinking about it so much. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. So that's why it's so important. If you want to, if you and then I'll shut up. If you want to wake up the musical monster, it's all about attitude. It's all about practicing correctly. It's all about practicing the right material. If there is something better out there to recommend, I would recommend it. I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of material. And like I said, my material goes back to studying people like Joe Pass and, you know, Ted Green. I took a couple of, most people that were around here, a lot of great players studied with Ted Green for a little bit, because if you didn't, you're crazy, because that guy was deep, man. And we had some great laughs. He was a funny guy, really cool guy. It's like taking him the Dalai Lama of the guitar world. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is I've got thousands and thousands and thousands of hours and, you know, 35 years into developing the guitar leader system. And you know, I used to teach guitar many moons ago when I was a young man. I was a pretty good teacher, but I think, to be honest about it, as I got older and started getting intermediate level students and people that were intermediate almost to advanced, I started taking a little harder, honest look at my teaching and said, gee, you know, I really need to get something special here. And so that's when all the development started. But I came from a musical family. My mom just passed away a couple months ago, and she was one of the top piano teachers in the world. I think the teaching is in our blood, it's in our family. My mom was very inspirational to me. She really they used to call her Dr. Zook. She'd go into colleges and universities and help the different music departments and help different teachers, and she'd do seminars on piano, and she was amazing. I went to a couple of her seminars. Really a great public speaker, and my mom has said some very interesting things about my musical compositions. When I was very young, we didn't quite get along as well, because I was into like Yes and progressive music, and she was into classical. But as I got older and got more accomplished, and she grew up a little bit more too, we both grew up and evolved a little bit. Our relationship even got better, and she started to really appreciate my musical compositions and my ability to compose, and even the way I play my kind of new age piano style. So. But I believe that the universe and God knows what it's doing. You know, it looks like people pass, but I believe there's still, you know, energy doesn't just die; it just transfers. So I know my mom is evolving and learning now in a different dimension, and I'm happy about that. Anyway, didn't mean to get into all that, but man, that's just who I am. I like to share the real stuff, and I guess what I'm trying to say is that there's a silver lining to every cloud. All right. So anyway, if you want to wake up the monster, practice clean, and have a positive attitude about the redundant nature of practice. If you're going to go like this, and I'll do this today probably, friend. If you can do this, and you're going to do that 50 times, feel great about it. It's the repetitious practice is the mother of mastery and huge growth, and working on the right material. And folks, I really believe in my guitar ladder system. I've always been this way. I've never been able to sell or promote anything that I don't believe in. I've always been this way. I've mostly worked for myself in my life, but if in the times I've worked for other people, I had to believe in what we were selling, and if I believed in it, I was dynamite. I was one of the top salespeople there. But I have to believe in it. But I think it's because I'm able to connect with people. People can tell I'm the real deal, and that I really do care about people getting results. I really do care about people evolving. as artists and musicians. And I like to feel that I'm bringing a little extra joy in people's life by helping them progress. It's a great feeling. So I think I've said enough. So keep the positive faith. Remember, the universe is unfolding in time, not unraveling. The universe is always on purpose. And it's perfect. Ciao.